What's up guys, Houndish here, and today Xur returns to Destiny 2 for the weekend beginning the 18th of July. Of course it's Xur's first visit since the launch of Edge of Fate. He is indeed in his normal spot down here. We do have that rank reset, given that we're in a new expansion. Of course, Xur has a bunch of changes, as far as I understand it, based on what Bungie had said previously, so we'll discover it together, I suppose. Immediately, on the front page right here, we can see the offers have been switched up quite a bit, so Xur's going to be selling 2 exotics per class now moving forward. So we've got the Dragon Shadow right here for Hunters, of course. This one is a featured exotic during this season. Total stat roll of 63 with the Specialist archetype on that one. Then we've got the Star Eater Scales, which is a Gunner archetype. Total stat roll of 60. Of course, these are the new stat archetypes. I'm sure many of you folks have discovered that this week, given we've been playing a bunch of Edge of Fate. Otherwise, for Titans, we have the Titan's Ramparts. This is a Specialist role. Total stat roll of 62, mainly with class energy. And then we've got Precious Scars, another 62 overall, but this one is a Brawler archetype. Otherwise, there is the Ophidian Aspect, rolling with Bulwark, and that's a total of 61. Another 61 right here for Boots of the Assembler, so Warlocks kind of coming out worse, or worst off, just about, in terms of stats this week. The Boots are a Gunner archetype. One good thing, moving forward though, Bungie have said Xur will sell exotic class items every single week, so for continuing to farm those, obviously that's going to be pretty useful stuff. Now, for the strange gear offers, this is where things could get interesting. I was actually having a look at Xur's inventory in the database, and he does have a whole bunch of different stuff now. So firstly, for exotics, we've got Hawkmoon, and then we've got Sweet Business, as well as Cold Heart, and Two-Tailed Fox. Let's have a look at this Hawkmoon right here. This has got Quick Draw on it, although I know some folks were actually pulling Hawkmoons from collections and getting random rolls every single time. Otherwise, there is the Merciless and Fighting Lion catalysts available this week. In terms of the legendary stuff, Xur is going to be able to sell a whole bunch of stuff from last year moving forward. That includes stuff like Heresy weapons, even Adept weapons from Nightfalls and things like that, which is pretty wild. Doesn't look like we've got any Adepts this first week, but it's definitely going to be possible based on what I can see in the database. We got Patron of Lost Causes. I'm just kind of rolling the dice, seeing if we get anything interesting here. Why not? Nothing too mind-blowing. We do have Succession, though. This is actually the Into the Light version of the weapon, which is pretty wild. We can see it's got Demolitionist as well as Snapshot Sights. It's certainly possible that Xur could still sell, potentially with a bit of luck, some good rolls on these weapons. There's Patron of Lost Causes. This is the Echoes variant, as we can see. This one's got Triple Tap and Precision Instrument, which is actually alright on this one. Corkscrew, Extended Barrel, Flared Mag, well, Appended Mag on that, so not too bad of a roll. Otherwise, we've got the Ignition Code, this one rolling with Lead from Gold and Strategist, which certainly could be an interesting one to play around with as well. Otherwise, there is Deafening Whisper. As we can see, it's got Pulse Monitor and Snapshot Sights. On top of that, though, Mercurial Overreach. I'd almost forgot this thing existed. This has got Slick Draw and Elemental Capacitor. And then for the Plug 1, we can see right here, it's got Well-Rounded and Volt Shot, which is definitely an interesting one. So if you want a Volt Shot fusion rifle right there, maybe worth picking this one up. Like I said, it is technically possible for Xur to actually sell Adept weapons according to his inventory, this previously being a Nightfall weapon. Otherwise, for the last few, we've got Crown Splitter with Thresh and Whirlwind Blade, and then Memory Interdict. This one has Surplus and Unrelenting. I have to actually inspect these now because I'm terrible with a bunch of the perk icons, not necessarily all of them. It's a visual issue of mine. We have Energy Transfer on Temptation's Hook, as well as Chain Reaction, so if you fancy a bit of a Chain Reaction sword, that might be worth playing around with as well. Of course, these will not be getting any of the tiers for gear because they are older pieces of gear, so that doesn't apply to any of those. But finally, for the strange offers, we have Ascendant Shards, Enhancement Cores, Glimmer, and Raid Banners, which may be useful. Might be worth grabbing a bunch of those if you're heading into contests this weekend. So there we go, that's the extent of the Xur update. 2 exotic armor pieces per class each week. Always will be able to get exotic class items, which is nice. And the occasional very interesting offer of weapons like the Into the Light stuff, or even Adept Nightfall weapons. I saw the Adept Lotus Eater listed in his inventory according to LightGG, so we'll see in future weeks if any of those pop up, but for the moment, that is this week, so let us know if you plan to grab anything. We've also just had a game update, don't have any patch notes just yet, but if there's anything worth knowing about, I will definitely keep you guys posted. If you've enjoyed this video, a rating really does help me out on the channel. Otherwise though, I hope you guys have an awesome day.